#1 live show in the world, West Coast Poplock Podcast. Coming to you from Pig Studios in Compton, California. Featuring radio personality Super Steve Flores, comedian extraordinaire, that dude Johnny C, and Mr. I'll Do Anything for a Buck, Mario 81. So throw your dubs in the air and let's get ready to pop up.
It's that time again, Tuesday night, the #1 live podcast every Tuesday night. This is the West Coast Poplock Podcast coming to you from a secret location in Compton, California called Pig Studios.
It's a secret.
It's a very big secret.
That dude on the bicycle will tell you, though.
Yes. What number are we at today?
Nice to him.
Oh,
We are number 77.
Double digits? Are we at 77?
77.
Oh, man, we missed the spirit of 76 last week. We didn't say that number fucking at all.
No. We did not.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, exactly. We're at 77 now. It's all
Was last week lightning?
Yeah.
We did that on that Monday.
It was crazy, man. That thing went.
that
I
is
mean,
why.
we hung out another hour after.
Talking match.
And he had some secrets he wouldn't give out.
Yeah, this
I'm
was like
I'm gonna wait.
Exactly. He's like, "What the? Well, I'll let you know that some other time." He's like, "What do you mean? Tell me right now."
Yeah.
Tell us now.
And the worst part is when someone's just gonna keep a secret from you, like, but you know, if I tell you, you'll remember. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. Now I gotta wait, and I don't remember shit.
Yeah.
And I don't. So it is what it is.
Fix
But,
Steve's camera, Mario. Come on.
Oh no, bro. I'm good from any angle, bro.
Oh shit.
So it don't matter. It don't matter.
It's all the
So
money
today
shots.
we have a very special guest, Mario. Introduce.
Yeah, let's go, Mario.
Since this is not a wrestling podcast,
We don't talk about
We
wrestling
don't.
ever.
We don't.
and not like there's been so many wrestling things that we've been attending, and so many. It's just crazy, man. Right now, wrestling is on fire. There's so many.
I called it.
There's so many promotions out there.
I called it. I
Red
said
hot.
2 years ago, right before the pandemic. Well, I'm sorry. Well, get
no.
Sorry.
With all the love, I mean, we've been hitting up TJ for the Crash. We've been mixed up with all kinds of stuff. The Lucha Republic shows, the Mayan
PCW,
with PCW,
Lucha Vavoom.
which is coming back May 5th and 6th at the Mayan. So make sure you get your tickets.
Man, I
to
heard-
see
Michelada
it.
Rumble with Lucha.
Oh yeah, that's
Come
right
on.
too.
Hold on,
that.
it's Michelada Lucha Rumble.
At Michelada Rumble.
The
At the
Michelada Lucha Rumble at the Michelada
Correct.
Rumble. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
Coming
the
back
ballpark
June
in Arlington
11th.
at Santa Anita Park.
Yep.
Nice.
So there's all kinds of wrestling stuff, and who we brought in today, I've known Remy for, I don't know, a handful of years. I don't know you personally. I don't know what size shoe you wear, but I've come
I
across
looked
Remy.
at his feet. They're like about a 9.
They are
9?
Oh, shit.
I was gonna say 7.5, 8, but I mean you're being gracious. You're being gracious. But I've known Remy for a long time. We come across each other out in the psychobilly worlds for many years.
Go Psycho!
Go Psycho! But I hadn't seen you in quite a number of years. And then you started popping up at the wrestling shows. I started seeing you at I think I saw you at PCW maybe.
Yeah, we're at
You're-
PCW.
And I saw you vending, and then all of a sudden I see online the traction. There's shirts now. You're hanging out with wrestlers. Remy,
Mario just wanted a free shirt.
Yeah.
Just got it with a shirt.
I did fuck up, and I meant to ask you to bring a grudge match shirt because I wanted to buy one, but not pay for shipping. So but fuck that up.
Yeah,
But welcome to the show, Remy and Tawney. Tell us a little bit about your
GrudgeMatchBrand.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what the brand is and how you even got into it.
yeah,
Let's
there
get
you go. How you
fucking
guys
welcome. First of
Yeah,
all, welcome
welcome.
you guys.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for
much.
coming
Welcome
out.
to the West Coast Poplock Podcast.
That's right.
Thank you for having us.
We need. Hey, they need
us.
to make us a shirt because we're not a wrestling shirt, but we need to get a wrestling shirt.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
You know what I
you can have
mean?
like a non-wrestling
no,
wrestling
no,
shirt.
Which
Which is what you guys do. Which is what you guys do.
Yeah.
From looking at what you guys make, you guys make non-wrestling wrestling shirts.
So we're both like huge music fans. Obviously, we come from the psychobilly scene. We also come from like the punk scene and pretty much everything. We like a lot of different music, but we've always had like the love of wrestling kind of like in the back of our lives as well. And so like when we were younger, both totally into it, kind of like went down, when you get into high school, people start talking shit about like the stuff you like,
You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but for
How
me, it was
old are
like,
you?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I used to watch that when I was a kid too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool, man. Thanks.
right.
Yeah.
So like we started getting into wrestling again, and we're like, you know what? There's a lack of wrestling music crossovers. So we kind of try to do that with our merch.
But there's not in the reality is there's not a lack of wrestling. Wrestling and music is completely intertwined.
Oh, totally.
But for whatever reason, when it comes to merch, though, that it's separate when it should be separate. This thing is fucking. You couldn't separate wrestling and music if you tried.
Right.
But it's like completely separate when it comes to the merch. You would think that all these merch designers have never seen a band shirt. You know what I mean? Like when it's like, why the fuck is it like this when it could be what you guys make? You know, it's so props to you guys for sure.
Thank you.
Seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like, you know, like she said before, we come from the music scene and everything, and, you know, when we would go to concerts, I would wear wrestling shirts, you know, and be like, oh, strike up conversation, whatever, you know, and then the same thing, you know, when we go to wrestling shows, wear a band shirt, and I'm kind of thinking, like, we should just do something where we could just do both, you know, and, you know, just punk rock and stuff. Like, our first shirt was something that, you know, we had Grudge Match in the back of our mind, and then we saw our
Great
buddy.
name also, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you. It took a lot of deliberation, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because we started with Punks of Wrestling, which is like a
not
little
bad.
Facebook group that we had.
Yeah.
But
It
it's
was
kind of
PAL.
long, you know.
Talk about
Dang.
long names. Yeah.
tell us about long names here at the West Coast Pop Lock Podcast. We love
I'm like, what's going to fit on Twitter? Shit. Even our Grudge Match brand doesn't fit on Twitter.
Yeah. We're
So-
missing one.
Yeah.
Really? Grudge Match Brand is too long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit.
That's why we don't have a Twitter.
Oh, that's it right there.
It's too long.
Yeah, we were trying to tag it the other day, and we are just like, where is it?
Where
Okay.
are they at?
Not on Twitter.
They don't exist if they're not on Twitter.
Yeah,
I know.
Exactly.
Change that. We're real guys. So then, go ahead.
I was gonna say the real question is: do you make a 3X or 4X T-shirt?
We go up to 5, sometimes 6.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, dude.
You got
like,
a new customer right
well,
here,
no,
man.
The thing is, man, the thing is really like whenever you're gonna go get, you know, whether it's a music shirt or like, you know, from your favorite band or even from, you know, like wrestling shirts and stuff, like they don't go past like an XL,
Yeah.
2X, maybe.
If you can find a 2X, like, you buy it.
We went to Lars and they had 3X shirts, and so I bought, I bought one. But yeah, it's always hard to find cool shirts and stuff like that. So that's awesome. So all you big dudes out there,
Fucking Grudge Match,
Hell
man.
yeah.
You like wrestling? You're probably a fat guy. So
but see, I think with wrestling that you know, there's a bunch of fat guys in wrestling, you know, that love wrestling. So
yeah,
you're
we're
not
there,
making
man.
it.
We're there.
Yeah.
And not only that, you know, we try to keep the brand inclusive. You know, we don't want people to feel left out. Like, oh, dude, that shirt's so cool, and well, shit, I
Sure.
can't buy it. It's a XL, and I'm like a 4X. You know,
Yeah.
like we don't normally go up to 6X all that often, just because it's kind of hard to find.
Yeah.
But if we can, then we will. You know.
I remember a friend of mine sells stuff out of the swamp meet, like T-shirts and stuff like that for wrestling shirts. And I told him one day, I go, you go to 3X, you're going to sell out. He did, and boom. Hey, there's guys that go there and order them, like, by the dozen. And he's like, damn, dude, thanks. I go, no, don't thank me, bro. Hook me up with some shirts. Yeah. Don't thank me, bro.
Kick down
Make sure you have one for me. That's all.
Yeah. So you guys do limited edition runs, or do you guys continue to print, or how does that work? Because I know sometimes, you know, you do like a limited run or pre-orders. Well, how does it work?
Yeah, we do a little bit of both, depending on what the demand is.
Yeah.
And stuff. Some of them we're just like, there's no way we're gonna print this again. It's fine. Like,
Yeah.
and then like, was it our bestseller one is the Love Me Like a Liker, which is Jushin Liger crossed over with Motorhead.
Yeah. And
You
that
know.
was supposed to
Show
be
that. You got that out. You got that out right now, right?
Hold on.
There it is.
Yeah.
That is a spectacular shirt design too. That is so good.
And that's
the little Japan at the bottom. I didn't notice that
Yeah.
at first. That is shit, man.
And that's designed by our in-house artist Juan Ortiz.
Out of Modesto.
Out of Modesto, yeah. He,
Big shout out
he
to
kills
Juan
it.
Ortiz.
Juan
Shout out
Ortiz
to
of the
Juan.
Dead Designs.
209 of the Dead 209.
Yeah, yeah.
Modesto.
I was just about to
badass.
ask if that was if you guys were designing or that was outsourced. But all right, so in-house and
We
Well-
do a little bit of both, yeah. But it's
Yeah.
mostly Juan. Like, he knows what we give him our ideas, and he just executes them so perfectly. It's like, if it ain't broke, don't
That's
fix
like
it, you know?
the language or the ability of hearing what people say
Mm-hmm.
and then making not even just making it what they said, making it better than what they said. Like,
Oh,
that
yeah.
is such
Definitely.
a talent, you know? Like, it's
Definitely.
one thing to be able to go, yeah, look, I drew this. It's a completely different to be able to take something that you said.
Yeah.
And make it like where you're like, oh shit, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Exactly.
Are you guys a couple? You guys
Yeah.
are married?
We're married.
Okay. I was going to ask because you were saying that you guys liked all the stuff. So high school sweethearts all the way back then, or
We've known each other. Well, actually, okay. So we've known about each other for about 15
That's
years.
the best. I
Okay.
love
Yeah.
knowing about
Yeah.
it. You know what I
Thanks
mean?
to the internet, you know, we have our
Like, who's that?
Psychobilly online.
Sure, absolutely.
But he's 6 years younger than me.
Oh.
So when I first knew about him, he was in high school, and I was like,
Ew.
"Who's this weird little runt?" You know? Like,
I was like, who's that girl?
he's always like saying
Yeah.
stupid shit on like this message board that we were both on. It's just like, God, this guy's annoying. I'm gonna add him on MySpace.
God, this guy's annoying. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna marry him.
was that part of that closing deal that you both were into so much of the same things like wrestling and music and
Well, actually, it's kind of yeah and no, because we both dated people who were like the exact same, kind of like, it felt like kind of like a carbon copy of some sorts and everything, and it just doesn't work out because you don't have something to discover. There's nothing new.
Sure.
It kind of gets a little bit boring. We have enough in common, and then we have enough that we don't have in common at all,
Yeah.
where it makes it worse. And we kind of think of it like puzzle pieces, where it just fits.
yeah. I think that's part of the key is having just enough in common and just a slight bit of just things that are different.
Yeah.
To like you said, it keeps it interesting and you continue to learn something new of your couple.
Yeah, the 6-year difference and everything. Like, there's stuff that she doesn't know that I experienced, and the same thing with her and everything. We joke about it a lot and everything.
I'll bring up stuff like Rainbow Bright, and he's like, "What?"
I know.
It's wild how you think when you're adults that like it's not that 6 years, big fucking deal. That's not that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But when you go backwards to when you were a kid, like you were experiencing completely different things at completely different times.
Yeah.
It's like kind of awkward too, because I'm like,
Sure.
I graduated in 2000. He was in 6th grade, so he's like watching the Pokemon movie with his mom.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And I'm out there being a little hoe in Hollywood, partying, going clubbing,
And I'm
I
all like,
remem-
in 6 years, I'm going to be a hoe.
You gotta have aspirations,
I remember being so jealous of you guys that were going to get to graduate in 2000 because of the little tassel hangers that you put from your rearview mirror. You got 0-0. God damn, that was hard as fuck. We did not have a year as good as that.
What class were you?
92. That was
92.
way before
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah. But I remember looking into the future and seeing like these because it was like
0-0.
99 was dope. It was like fuck 99. That's awesome. 2 zeros. Like fuck. Bro.
I was kind of jealous of the people who graduated in the year 98 locally because I was a Spice Channel.
like a little
Hell yeah.
inside joke for only all you guys. Got that 98 going on, you know.
that scrambled screen.
It's like, it works today. What the hell?
Dude, the free weekend previews were the shit. Ooh, just randomly you get that channel. Oh my god.
You didn't have a black box, man?
No, I was up for whenever that would happen. I'd be up for 48 hours. You know?
Damn.
Waiting for my parents to go back to sleep. Like, you guys go the fuck to sleep. I got some things I need to see.
Yeah.
Like, why does he have that giant bottle of lotion? Like,
Why do you look so dehydrated? What's going on right now?
smells like bleach in here. Oh Lord.
Mom, are we out of OJ?
So you knew of him, and then you guys just started hanging out like afterwards, like after the message boards, and you started adding him on the MySpaces.
Well, so we were MySpace friends. I think I deleted him for something dumb, and then
He said
Facebook
something
started coming
annoying.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was just like,
yeah.
this guy's a dork. And Facebook came around, and then it was like Dexter, right?
Yeah.
Like we were watching. I didn't have cable at the time. I was like about to leave the desert. I was living in like the Palm Springs area. And I was like, hey, how do you watch Dexter? Like, can I watch it online somewhere? And that's kind of how we bonded.
And you're like, I got Showtime. Come on over. Like, what do you mean? How do I watch it? I watch it on my TV with Showtime. Come on over.
And that was like the days of where like people were always illegally downloading shit, you know?
Torrent sites.
Yeah, exactly.
What was it
you
called?
know?
Like, I must watch this, or you can watch this.
I don't even know.
It was
It
like,
was-
you can watch this.co.
That's
Like,
or something.
Dexter
like
was good for a few seasons, then it just got lame.
Look,
Oh,
Dexter
the last season
ended.
was awful.
Dexter ended when the Trinity Killer killed fucking Rita. That was the end of the series.
But you know what? That also coincided
spoiler
with,
alert! If you haven't watched that show, it's fucking 20 years
I was
old.
gonna say There's no more room for spoiler alert on that.
Yeah, I know.
But it's kind of like it coincided with the writers' strike. Do you guys remember that?
Right. That's how reality TV happened too.
Yeah.
was that
Oh
writers'
God.
strike.
Thanks for the Kardashians.
That's
by
what
the way.
happened. The
Shit.
writers went on strike. They had to keep still pumping out TV, and the way
Yeah.
they worked around that was reality TV.
We're like, how do we get cheap talent?
Yep.
You know,
No
that wants to be
writers,
famous.
No writers.
They don't give a shit.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so. But
So
yeah.
Is that what happened in like WWE as well? Because the writing went to
No, they're not. See, look, wrestling knows way better. Not bad. They are too much of a scumbag company to ever hire any union talent.
Pretty much.
You got to be non-union in everything.
Yeah,
to
'cause
work
it
for
went to
fucking
shit.
WWE. Yeah.
Well, there is a question online for
Let's hear it. Where's
for
the fucking
Remy.
shiz at?
I turned it on afterwards. But Zach Rabbit Lopez asked, "Where is Camp Psycho? Bring back Camp Psycho." What's up with that? What happened to Camp Psycho?
Honestly, it was
Well,
just.
what is Camp Psycho?
Yeah, I don't even know what Camp
for,
Psycho-
for all of us that have never had a Devil Hawk, what is Camp Psycho?
All right. Well, to explain that, you have to go back to the year 2011.
Oh, man, we're going on a little
Time machine.
trip.
Yeah.
I mean, what we used to do, what I enjoyed very much as like a teenager was going to like Bats Day at Disneyland, Bats Day
Sure.
at Fun Park. I thought it was really cool. Just go. There's a bunch of goth kids and stuff, and it's just like a bunch of weirdos freaking out, a bunch of like Karens and stuff. And then like I started doing Rockabilly Day. I forgot what his name was, but they started doing Rockabilly Day. One of the organizers, I was DJing, and the organizer said, "Oh, you should do a ska day at Disneyland." I'm like, that would be so perfect, And then I didn't know what to do. I didn't have any money backing or nothing, and I would just go around asking people. I'm like, okay, well, if you're a ska fan and you have a Disney pass or you love Disney or whatever, like we're having this thing called "It's a Ska World After All."
Nice.
And I'm like, perfect, and it's about, I try to be a little bit political where we're just like, anti-racism, anti-homophobia, stuff like that. And then we'd contact bands and ask them like, hey, would you like to sponsor us? Maybe donate some merch where we can pass around and, have like a little scavenger hunt and everything. And, we did that for a couple of years, and then the balloon was completely deflated where we had the most people there. It had to be like 500 people.
It was like our
Holy
most
shit.
attended event.
Yeah.
It was we always take like a big photo out in front of the castle,
Yeah.
just to kind of make it special for everybody. And I guess they were having a wedding that day. So the security came up and was like, "You need to hurry it up." So we're like, "Okay, let's try to get it going fast." And we're doing giveaways all day, like doing scavenger hunt. And I forgot what happened, but one of the security guards just got like really upset that we were all there. It's like, you're congregating and it's like an illegal congregation.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you are like an ancient Disneyland security. Like,
Like you
Chill
live
the
in the
fuck
place
out,
where everyone just goes. This whole place is a congregation.
yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
exactly. And so he was like, well, what is your event about? And we're like, well, it's celebrating ska music. We're celebrating like unity, and we celebrate people like accepting each other for their differences. We're non-racist. We're not. Oh, whoa. We don't celebrate non-racism.
No,
like those.
the words were like, we promote anti-racism.
Yeah, we promote anti-racism, and he was like, we don't promote that here.
Yeah, we're like,
We're
no,
just like,
oh, wait, hold on. No, we're not racist. We are
yeah.
against racism. We're not racist. And he was just like, yeah, no, dude. Like, Disneyland's not for that. What he could have said was, this is Disneyland, and we try to keep it, like, non-political and stuff.
Yeah.
And, there's no such thing as racism. But he straight up was like, we don't believe in anti-racism. We're like, okay.
Yeah, and he like threatened to take away our friends' passes, and it's just like, you know what? It's too much trouble. It's getting very expensive. It's getting very crowded.
I just imagine the bureaucracy of Disney is a lot to deal with.
Well, I worked there at the time as, food and beverage.
Oh, no
people
shit.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I was in the back, like, calling people, like, what I could, with this event, what we could get away with. See if we could talk to Josh Frieza's dad to get Suburban Legends to play at the Tomorrowland stage, which we did, which
Yeah.
is awesome. And then, one of the security guards looked at my ticket and he's like, "You're an employee here, or you're a cast member. We're going to have to talk to your manager." And then my manager came up to me and was like, "Oh, so it says that you're passing out propaganda." And I'm like, "No, we weren't." And I'm like, "This is what we do." And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? I brought 500 plus people who weren't planning on being there that day.
You made them money.
Yeah.
Fool said you were passing out propaganda.
Yeah.
My God, you're passing out band
And
t-shirts.
it's not even like,
Propaganda.
it's like, oh, this is pretty much propaganda. He said, they said you were passing out propaganda. I'm like, this is absurd.
And like literally everything we had was like very innocent, you know, like even the music we kind of vetted because we didn't want to
You
get in
understand
trouble.
where you're at, and that you
Yeah.
can deal with a cast member.
It's
You
like
know
a
what the
very
fucking deal is with
family-friendly
Disneyland.
place.
Absolutely.
Yeah, somebody
God
wanted
damn.
to do like a whole like, oh, we should have a theme song, and it, you know, somebody was like, oh, smoking weed, drinking beer. Like, well, we're trying to make it an all ages thing, and we're just
Yeah.
like, you know what, the whole security thing and people getting threatened, plus it's more expensive. We should just call it quits, blah blah blah, and then. You know, the thing is, Tawney can't say any ideas around me at all. She has to
shit.
pump the frickin' brakes.
Yeah.
She
You
says
know?
an idea, and you're like, let's
Let's
do that.
fucking do
He's already
this.
like on the phone, like texting people, like, all right, let's get it done. I'm like, no, wait, hold on.
Yeah,
just a
so
thought.
Shit.
We're just hanging out, and she's like, we should do a Psychobilly Day at Knott's Berry Farm. Oh my God, no. Like, you know what? Walk the line. No, what was it? Like, walk hard.
Walk hard, yeah.
Walk hard.
And I'm like, you know what? We're more involved in the psychobilly scene than the ska scene because, you know, I'm like thinking, you know, if we try to do a psychobilly thing at Disneyland, it's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
You know?
No,
Oh,
no
yeah,
way.
no.
You know, plus they don't sell beer, but Knott's Berry Farm on the other
Well,
hand.
I mean, I think now Disneyland or California
California
Adventure.
California Adventure.
But still, you know, and
Yeah, all our
Knott's
focus.
is like fucking no man's land.
yeah,
Yeah.
all our
It's the
focus
Wild Wild
is-
West. It's not very far
Exactly.
from here.
Literally.
Yeah.
So yeah, we started organizing a couple of years. We would do Camp Psycho, and it's just, you know, it was really fun and everything. And you know, we'd have local bands. You know, we'd have a pre-party. You know, have bands play at, you know, sometimes our restaurant. We had it at a pizza place called, what was it, Peps?
Peps. We had it at Peps, and then was it Out of the Park or was that a different event?
No, we had it at the Airliner.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We had it at the Airliner.
We-
The last one that we did, we had at the Airliner, and that was our first time actually getting a band from another country. We had
Spellbound.
Spellbound from Ireland, and that was, I mean, it was fun, but it's just like, you know, maybe we're
A little.
psychobilly's not quite big enough out here,
Sure.
where it's going to be worth the while.
The
of,
hassle of doing it.
yeah,
The
you
investment.
know?
Because when I started everything, like, you know, like doing the days and stuff, it was legitimately just for fun. Like, I didn't think about like, oh, I can make a couple of dollars and stuff. Like, I'll just make some pins, sell those, and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And like
You
for
know.
us, we don't really make money off of it, you know, like
Yeah.
a lot of all of the money that we ever made making merch, doing anything, you know, promoting, whatever, always went to the performers, whoever's
Yeah,
going to
recouping.
play. Yeah,
And
exactly.
the performers mostly because, you know, getting like 6 Irish people over to it,
yeah, exactly.
Sure.
you know, it's not free.
Fuck,
exactly.
yeah. Knott's Berry Farm seems like a much better place to do it anyway.
Oh, they were
Like,
great.
man,
They were
Oh.
so cool.
Tell them about the first day.
So the first day we went, you know, we had like a little rolling cart, like a wagon with us with all of the prizes and stuff. We had backpacks. And we're like, hey, you know, we talked to your events manager. He said, oh, yeah, he wants to talk to you. He comes over, he's looking, he's like, oh, that's cool. All right, well, you guys come through here. We're going to follow you around. So that way we make sure you guys are like all set. Everyone's taken care of. Nobody bothers you.
The OC Register and the OC Weekly.
Yeah,
wanted to talk
OC
to us.
Register and OC Weekly came out, and they called it the Anti-Dapper Day because everybody was coming
Hilarious.
dressed up like, you know, very psychobilly.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, and the same day, actually, was Dapper Day the same day?
Dapper Day was the same day, but
Hell
we
yeah.
At
we
Disneyland,
weren't
yeah.
aware of it.
Yeah, we didn't like plan it.
Happenstance.
Yeah, we didn't plan it at all, and we were just like, oh, that's crazy. And they're like, well, what do you think about when people call it Anti-Dapper Day? I'm like, well, we're not anti anything. We're pro music and stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, then I would throw in my little jabs.
Well,
and
fuck
like,
a dandy.
There
Fuck
you
a
go with
dandy
your you know, passing out what happened?
Propaganda.
propaganda.
Yeah, you're not against. You're not
Because your
against anything.
propaganda.
You're
Yeah.
not against anything. This is
So, like, we
sounds
weren't against
communist.
anything, and then I threw in my little jab of like, you know, Dapper Day is just like one day out of the year where people dress up for something, and we dress like this all the time because this is who we are.
We're just gathering to this on this
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Go Psycho.
It was really fun. You know, we'd have like, you know, meetups for the photo, and then we have the scavenger hunt, and then we'd like have funnel cake hour.
Nice. I mean, you can't go to Knott's Berry Farm.
Get
and not
out
have
of here.
Funnel
man. I'll
cake.
eat
Right?
10 of those funnel cakes.
Is it boysenberry season yet? Is that time for
Yeah,
that
it's
yet?
going on
Yeah.
right
That shit
now.
was awesome.
The Boysenberry Festival.
And then they'd have all year round boysenberry soft serve. which was amazing.
What?
And
I don't go.
boysenberry
I don't go
coffee.
out that often. but-
And they brought back all the Western stuff where you go and you see, like, you know, because they'd taken it away for a while, so they hired people to come out and, you know, do the sheriff. And
That's
then
the best part of
black
Knott's
stuff.
Berry
Yeah.
Farm.
Yeah.
Like, that like when you go to this little schoolhouse and learn about like school in the old way, like all that stuff. That's what Knott's Berry Farm.
Because they started going towards, like, rides, because they thought that was the answer to compete. Like, we need to get more crazier rides.
We need to
Yeah.
be more like them
Six
instead of
Flags.
being more
Yeah.
like Knott's Berry Farm.
Well, I
And
think-
lately it's been packed.
Yeah,
Lately
it
it's been
has
packed. I
been.
live right around that area.
And
so.
you know what? It's because, you know, first of all, Disneyland's gotten a lot stricter with who they're letting in at what times. So if you have an annual pass, you have to reserve a time to go. You can't just like roll up the same day. So a lot of people are like, well, screw that. I'm not going to go and spend my money here. I'm going to go get an annual pass at Knott's where they don't give a crap. And you can just go whenever
Just
you want.
show up.
And
Well,
you can go, you
yeah.
can leave and come back, go eat somewhere and come
Yeah.
back.
Sure,
Like,
they're
Yeah,
like,
they're
"Well,
real chill
I
about
come
it.
on back,
They're
man."
super
Because it's
chill
like,
about
oh,
it.
you want to go to the restaurant that's connected to us? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's cool. Like,
We're
don't
not
worry about
sponsored
it,
by
man.
Knott's, by the way, so if they want to pay us, we're
The
cool
show's
with
not
that.
sponsored by Knott's either, but they can pay us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just it was just something that we're just like maybe we should just go down a different avenue because you know this isn't
It wasn't like, not that it wasn't profitable for us, because that wasn't like the main goal.
yeah.
It was that it wasn't profitable for other people involved.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sure.
that's where we were kind of like, you know, we don't want to be responsible for other people like missing out on money. You know, I kind of put my own like personal funds into it thinking like, okay, I'll get something back. And when it didn't happen, I was like, fuck that. I'm not doing that again. I love the psychobilly scene, but come on, you know, and
Welcome to the promoter world.
yeah, geez.
God damn.
Oh, psycho.
So that's
Poor
Camp
psychos.
Psycho right there. When did you have the last one?
2018,
Yeah.
probably 18. Yeah, because that's when WrestleMania was coming up, and Spellbound, the lead singer, him and his son were really into wrestling.
Oh yeah, because they knew Finn Balor or something like that, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Oh,
It's a
shit.
little. It's a little
Ireland.
island. Yeah, it's a little island. They all know each other.
Becky
Zach
Lynch.
Rabbit Lopez, that's why it is no longer
Yeah.
going on.
To answer your question,
Yeah.
So now with the wrestling T-shirts.
Yeah.
That's what we really want to get down
Well,
to.
I'm
Yeah.
just looking at the Liger shirt is really what made me start thinking about this. Is it a concept about a wrestler that you want to make a shirt for, or is it the like, you know what I mean, or is it the idea of a shirt or the idea of a wrestler? You know, like where.
Well, you know, when we started doing like, you know, stuff like that, it was like there is no like way to get a shirt from this wrestler unless we go on Redbubble, where it's just like a DTG,
really cheaply
I got a bunch of
printed.
those
Yeah.
horrible T-shirts.
where
off
it's
of
just
there
like
for
you know
sure.
go to the mall and they press it, you know,
Well, like our
heat
first
transfer.
shirt was the Bull Nakano.
Yeah.
You know, doing
That's
a
a good
Cramps
shirt.
parody.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know, nobody likes brightly colored shirts. Sorry. You
I
know?
do.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, personally,
I was like,
do.
I wish this was black.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we got a lot of that. But I'm like, you know, the classic Cramps.
Is that- it's that.
bad music
It's
for
that.
bad people? It's on a yellow shirt. It's got that funky ass, crazy looking Lux Interior monster. And so we're like, how can we turn this into a Bull Nakano shirt? Hit up Juan Ortiz. He fucking turned it out. That's still when we couldn't really decide if we wanted to do Grudge Match or Punks of Wrestling.
Yeah,
And
so-
even then, because we don't even have Grudge Match brand on there, which we added at the end, you know? Like
Yeah, second
everything
pressing.
now will say Grudge Match brand.
Sure.
Because we want to make sure that it's that, you know? And you can kind of like tell what's what. But since we started, we had like a little Facebook group that we started where it's like all kind of like-minded people that are into like punk music or subgenres and things like that, like alternative people, you
but
know?
it's mostly wrestling.
And we all talk about like wrestling and like different promotions.
Yeah, because we went to bar wrestling. She got me for Christmas, January 2018.
17,
No, it was 18.
18, yeah.
Yeah, because it was January and it was bar wrestling, and we went and there was like a fuck ton of like our friends who were like into punk rock that
Yeah.
were there. We were like, oh, this is like this is where all the punk rockers gone.
Yep.
You know. And it's like, you guys know, like you would see like buddies who were like, oh, I heard this is going on and it'd be cool. I'm like, well, there's something here.
It sounds really dramatic, but like
Yeah.
us going to these smaller indie shows is completely life changing, you know, because it kind of changed like where we wanted to go with, you know, what we're
Your efforts.
doing. Yeah, exactly. You know,
Can you click on that Piper shirt?
Oh, that's my favorite.
I just saw it. I did.
And actually, I was thinking about that today. I'm like, I really want to bring that back. But the only thing that bothers me about that shirt is that he does not have the blue knee pads.
Sure.
You know, and that's
Absolutely.
like, because we're trying to save money, you know?
Yeah.
So we're
Another
not trying to
color.
add another color.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? Let's bring it back as like a button and see how it does. We can add as many colors as we want. So let's
That's-
add the blue to it.
That's super cool.
But yeah, I love that tee so much.
That was great.
Because that's like my heyday, you know? Like when I started watching wrestling, it was like Roddy Piper, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Randy Savage.
What do you think about them using that for Ronda Rousey?
I mean, I don't hate it because I know that they were like friends, you know, like they're cool with each other. But I feel like his daughter, Teal Piper, is, you know, a legacy wrestler. I feel kind of like almost it was taken from her, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know her personally, so I don't know if she even wanted that, like, connection. But I would imagine as, like, his own, you know, his only daughter that's wrestling, she'd kind of want to have that connection with her dad, you know?
Or at least the option.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
The option's gone.
Yeah. You're not Rowdy.
No.
Sorry.
And
Like,
the thing that sucks is that she's not even really like a permanent full timer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like if she was, then it would be different because it's like, okay, there's this new wrestler. You know, she was a badass in MMA, whatever, and she's friends with Roddy Piper. She got permission to use his name. You know, but it's like you come around maybe once every couple years, and you know, don't do a whole lot.
Do you guys print your own stuff?
We actually our partners are our printers.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they're
That's
good
good
guys.
to have in the back.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah,
you have
Daniel
to
and Brownie,
have
shout
that,
out.
Yeah, shout out to Daniel and Brownie.
Angel City Printing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have you come up with
I
any
know
idea-
those guys, I think.
Have you come up with any
Probably.
ideas where you just thought that you thought it was cool, but no one else was gonna think it's cool? Like we can't print this.
Oh God.
All the time.
Probably. Yeah.
Every
Oh,
design.
sure.
Everything.
Because I think of a bunch of stuff. Where I'm like, that would be an awesome T-shirt.
I've-
It's like I would wear that and nobody else.
I've
Like,
always
get
wanted
outta
like a
here.
Wendy Richter, Cyndi
Fuck
Lauper.
yeah,
You
sure.
know. But I'm like, who's gonna get that? You have to be my age. You have to kind of be like, because I feel like
Well, the people your age are the ones that are spending the money.
that's true.
Also true.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that I mean, because that's why wrestling I think is really like has had this like
The resurgence.
your resurgence.
Yeah.
Because people that have money now, they can spend the money. Like
Exactly.
our boy Mario here, he has every single freaking,
Almost.
almost every single figure from AEW, and then he gets the cards, and it just we start making money and we start looking for things to spend it.
Dumb shit. to buy.
Exactly.
This shirt is really similar to the Lars one he has, but with the wolf on it.
Yeah, they're all. That's all.
But
yeah,
they have
that's
that because
all-
you have the
yeah,
Motorhead.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
it's
get
all-
it.
it's all
We just went to
Motorhead.
the show. Lars did a
That's
show.
why I
out
noticed
here.
you guys had the Lars and the Bastard, the Tiger Mask shirt, which is one
Yeah,
of the
that was
only,
great.
which is what because like it's Liger, Tiger Mask, and Bruiser Brody are
Yeah.
the three people that I wish had better T-shirts.
Yeah.
and there's not a lot of good T-shirts.
I'm all
Oh,
taking
that
notes.
Hitman is dope.
yeah,
Oh, that one's our
That's a
favorite.
dope shirt.
Actually, okay, so we started talking to Warhorse like at the beginning of the pandemic. Or was it? No, it was actually right before it started. We started talking to him like, hey, dude, let's collab. You know, like you have a big personality. You're a cool dude. And he was like, it'd be really cool if you guys did like a Brett the Hitman Hart shirt, but like mixed with Megadeth. And we're like, oh shit, can we use that idea? Like,
Yeah, and he's all cool about it. He's
he was
really,
so cool about it.
yeah. And the best thing is just talking to Warhorse on the phone because he's like, "Hi, how's it going?" Like very smooth
Hilarious.
voice, and then when he gets real excited, he's like, "We're gonna make $1 billion and fucking do this."
It's like it turns from like normal to gimmick like that.
And it's great.
And he's
a
not
great
even
guy.
trying, you know. But yeah, like that idea was just like, why didn't we? Like, I was pissed off. Like, why didn't we think of that? That's brilliant, you know.
excellence is my business.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I know where I'm going to be doing tonight.
Nope.
Shopping.
Yeah, we need to reprint those because that's one of the rare ones where it's just like people are asking about it all the time.
Yeah, there's a
you know?
couple that are in our rotation that are just constantly like being reprinted because we need to make sure that like people can have access to them.
I remember Johnny was talking about a few years ago. Well, not even a few years ago. What, the beginning of the pandemic? Yeah, it's maybe a couple
Which
years.
so loud because now it's a few years
yeah,
ago.
for sure. It's just crazy how time goes, man.
Yeah.
That one's pretty badass too.
Love that
But Johnny was always talking on the air here with us that, hey, you know what? Wrestling's gonna just explode.
I told everybody, I was like, wrestling is I was like, in 2 years, this will be at the beginning of the pandemic. I was like, in 2 years, regular people are gonna know who Kenny Omega is.
Yes.
And not that that's happened because of the fucking pandemic for sure.
Oh, right.
But
Yeah,
like
yeah.
killed a lot. But there's no denying the momentum of wrestling.
Oh,
right
big
now.
time.
And it's just, and not, I mean, it makes me fucking giddy. Like it's the perfect, like to just to know that all these dudes and women, you know, I'd use dudes meaning everybody.
Everyone, yeah.
All these dudes are able to fucking pull a check from wrestling, you know, and it's just, and that's their job. Not they're working at a warehouse like during the week. They're professional wrestlers.
Yeah.
and
Well,
that's
like
what
we
they
said,
do.
like, we're the
you know?
That's
guys
what
that
they
grew
do.
up with, you know, the WWEs or WWFs, you know, and now again we have the money to spend, and I mean, we've gone to TJ, you know, everywhere. We were planning to go to Monterrey to go see a AAA, and we didn't. But just stuff like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
well,
the question is like, did you feel that, you know, as well? It's just growing and continuing to grow.
Big time. And the thing is, you know, people have had a lot of time to marinate on it. You know what I mean? So, you know, maybe the things you took for granted before the pandemic, now you're like, oh shit, stuff is back. Like, let's go do stuff. Let's live, you know?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of avenues that you can go down to watch wrestling. It's like,
That's
it's
a lot.
available in a way where it wasn't before.
Yeah.
I mean, internet's been around, what, like 25 years? But I feel like in the past, maybe like 5-6 years, you know, we've really utilized it to kind of like get wrestling out to the masses.
And I also think AEW helped out a lot.
Oh,
you know, having a
huge.
different,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
An adult product.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
This is not geared towards kids.
No,
this
no,
is
no.
geared towards wrestling fans of all ages.
And you
Yeah.
know what,
But
really
not
what it starts with
specifically
is
towards children.
YouTube, because
Yeah.
they had Being
Sure.
Elite. And, you know, who's watching New Japan Pro Wrestling that's not a hardcore wrestling fan?
Not many people.
In the United States, at least, right?
Yeah.
So if you know anything about, you know, indie wrestling, you know anything about Japanese wrestling, you're going to watch it. But I feel like Being the Elite really just kind of opened up that door for people that are more casual.
Sure.
And they're looking up wrestling on YouTube and they're like, what's this crap? You know? And then they're getting into it like, okay, this is funny. This is cool. This is interesting. We get to see the day-to-day lives of these wrestlers. And, you know, some stuff's real and some stuff is obviously very scripted.
Sure.
But it's still fun. And that's an element that I think a lot of people were missing
Yeah.
from, you know, maybe WWE or, you know, other companies where, yeah, you still have fun with the product, but there's so much like drama in it where you kind of like the fun part and the silliness of it, the camp even, gets swept under the rug.
I think the thing
You
that
know?
did all of it for us was the first All In
Sure.
pay-per-view.
Oh, definitely.
And it's just like right off the bat, the first thing that happens is Ian Riccaboni, one of the commentators, he's talking to you not like you're an idiot. Like
Sure.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
legitimately talking to you like, hey, I'm a wrestling fan too, and this is how excited I am. And if you're not this excited as I am, then
fucked
you
up.
need to get on my level.
Yeah.
And it's like you do get it to that level because it's,
definitely.
you know, a sold out arena in Chicago, and, you know, with just people who just watched a YouTube channel and then got into New Japan through
Like,
that.
I love hip hop. And the day I was out on Jay-Z was the first time he said he dumbs it down for his audience.
Oh, see,
And I was like, that's not your job. Like in lyrics, he
No.
said, I dumb it down for my audience. And I was like, fool, your job is to raise your audience up.
and even
not
if you
to dumb
were,
it
why
down.
would you say
Right.
that?
And
you
I
know?
feel like WWE has spent their entire existence dumbing it down for their
Yeah.
audience, as opposed to AEW, as opposed to New Japan. It's like, look, we're here, and you have to get here. Like
Yeah.
if you want to watch this shit and really understand it, you got to get here. And if you're
And
not
it's
here,
it's not. I mean, like, the product is so much better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Dumbing it down just waters it down.
Exactly.
look, a double cross ain't a crossover ain't nothing but a double cross, man. Once we lose our audience, we ain't never gonna get them back. Like that's how it works.
And then we
Exactly.
got like Impact and ROH that are just like showcasing these people that have put all of their talent like full force, you know. They're not really focusing on like, I mean, yeah, there's promo work, you know, but it's not like you get 20 minutes of promo and then maybe a good match.
Like the show isn't gonna start with a 20-minute promo
Exactly.
every week. You know? It's like,
Exactly,
come
you
on,
know?
man.
Yeah,
you get like the good shit and it's out there and it's ready for you to watch, ready for you to consume and be like, damn, this is my new favorite wrestler. Like, why didn't I know about him before? You know?
That
you know
Vader
what, on the-
shirt
on
is
the-
hard as fuck.
I'll tell you right now,
man,
the like
that Vader shirt.
promos now just suck across the board.
There's there's not that intensity.
Yeah, there's not that intensity.
That's, it's a lot less cocaine. This is the problem. In the 80s, when everything was intense, these fools are all gacked up.
But like
explode.
I mean, back then you had those like the Hulks or the Macho Mans.
Yeah.
They just did such great work.
They're just larger than life.
Yeah.
It's like a comic book character come to life, and I think that's why to get back to like the Warhorse character. I think that's why he's kind of blown up during pandemic, because he's got this huge personality, this huge voice. He's painted, we love our unpainted wrestlers, obviously, for their talent and greatness. But you got somebody like Warhorse coming in that's got the talent. He's got that loud, crazy, like rambunctious attitude. And, you don't think of him as like a normal person. You think of this guy as like a comic book character, you know? So
and he does the work, too.
Yeah, and like Danhausen, too. Like, Danhausen's blown up so much.
Both of those two guys. See. So the territory days, we're talking 80s, not so you before you ever make it to the E, before you ever make it to New York or even the WCW, you've been doing your shit all around and perfecting who you are as a character. And you got your fucking shit, and then by the time you ever make TV, you're a fully formed entity. Like you are an artist being brought out, being shown in your full form. Where now it's like people get rushed to TV so fast, where they're like learning on the job, where they have to figure it out while they're doing it. And then someone like Warhorse, and Danhausen not as much, but Warhorse, when you don't get catapulted on the TV right away, when you do have to like break out through, when you do have to work on the indies, once you finally start getting momentum, you're coming into it as a fully formed artist. You're not like these fools have figured out who they were and what they're about a long time ago, and now they get to shine instead of like, oh, I hope I can figure it out. It's like, well, I got this. I figured this out a long time ago. Like put me in front of a camera, I'm ready to go. Like it's a whole different deal.
Zach Rabbit Lopez has a great question. Have you had problems using names, likenesses of either the wrestlers or any of the bands?
Well, I feel like when we first started, we didn't really ask permission, and it wasn't
better to beg for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission.
And we started with Japanese wrestlers, and the whole reason we did that is because there was a lack of available merchandise, and we wanted to appreciate them in our own way, so we did our own fan tributes. But the closer we got to actually being able to contact wrestlers and getting like any kind of feedback from them, we would do whatever we could to kind of like be like, hey, look, we have this idea, let's do it. If you guys are up for it, let's try this out, And we did get some feedback. We got to talk to Ryan from from NXT.
Which
Connor.
Oh,
Big
sure.
Con.
Yeah.
Con.
The Ascension.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Connor from the Ascension is like such a fucking great guy.
He's has the biggest heart ever. Well, you know what? There's a lot that wouldn't have been done if it wasn't for him too.
He like really did push us a lot, and not in like a way where he was like pressuring us, but he's just like, you got a good thing going. I like your stuff. Send it over to me. He was super cool. He would take photos wearing our stuff, get us some attention, and we're like, let's collaborate.
Fuck yeah.
He was our first collaboration, wasn't he?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so
it was either Warhorse or I think Ascension.
I think it was Ascension. So Vic and Connor both were like our kind of like jumping off point to where we could collaborate with wrestlers, get their ideas, like, hey, we got this idea, what do you think? They can give their 2 cents, because we don't want to do something where
like, that's not me. I don't. That doesn't represent me at all.
Yeah, I'm not going to do something that's going to be completely off of their brand, because let's be real, these wrestlers, they're a brand. They're a walking brand.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're a gimmick, and they're trying to sell it.
And they got to protect that.
What was crazy was he would tell me stories of like the NXT days where he was like, they were going for the championships for the first time, that he would look out in the audience and he'd be like, oh shit, they're wearing Ascension shirts. We had no idea that they were going to do that. And it's like
they had no input in
anything. And I think another thing that was crazy was Eric Redbeard, when he was Eric Rowan. He's like, the only thing that they let me ever do was pick my music, and that's it.
Yeah.
He didn't even...
the thought is always that these dudes are so much more that they have to be involved in. Well, of course they have to be involved in their T-shirts. They have to be involved. Then you find out like, nah, not at all. They just did that shit. It's like, God,
Yeah,
just
like
there.
there's this Finn Balor shirt where it's just horrible. I'm like, somebody got paid for this, and people, we try not to talk shit, but goddamn, you look at this thing and you're gonna talk shit because it was like written out where you're supposed to read a certain way, and it was highlighted where you have to read it down and then read back up, and it was just what am I looking at? And I'm like, people are gonna buy this, and they're just gonna be like, when did I buy this?
There's a bunch of shirts. It's because I love wrestling shirts. There's a bunch of shirts where you look at this like, because I know in a company that big that it has to go through. It has to get so many yeses before it ever winds up on the fucking website. I'm gonna guess 10 minimum yeses, and there's stuff that's like, how did this get said yes to over and over again? Like, no one put a stop to this? Like, Jesus Christ.
And the thing is, too, a lot of these guys that are working, they already have a lot of responsibilities. They've got to train every day. They've got to build their brand.
They are their own thing.
And sometimes all they need is a little bit of an idea. You spark something in them where it's like, hey, we're thinking about doing this, and that. And at first, maybe they're kind of like, oh, well, yeah, maybe this. But then you start to notice that they get really excited about it. They're like, oh, you know what? I was thinking, what if we do this, and that? So if you kind of get the ball rolling with them, it helps.
These are creative people.
Exactly. They are creative people. That people think about them like, oh, okay, it's just a physical thing. But it takes so much to
the least of it is not the least of it.
Yeah.
A much smaller part than people would think is what actual goes on in that fucking ring.
Exactly.
So much of it is not that.
And they're working on so much of that physical element of it, but they're also doing like their own branding, so they have to make themselves known, and they have to figure out a way where they're going to stand out from the crowd, and I mean, not like we're like this huge company that like, oh yeah, we're going to make you,
a star.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, we try to do our best to kind of like stand out from the crowd. If you're going to see the Jushin Liger shirt, hopefully that's a Grudge Match shirt.
Absolutely, sure.
And if you see like a Warhorse shirt, you're going to know like, okay, well, that's a Grudge Match Warhorse shirt. I mean, now we have our label on it, and that's what we've tried to do to kind of build our own brand, because we also have to think of ourselves,
Fuck yeah, of course.
Here's a two-part question. First part.
He's got kids.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started on Heath Miller. He is such a fucking sweetheart.
You guys ever gonna work with any like Mexican wrestlers, or have you, like luchadores?
Oh, we have talked to a couple. You know,
it's just
like Bestia and
it's just communication. You know,
because there's other dudes that like.
You know what? Lucha right now is really popping.
I mean,
and their product is
lacking.
lacking.
It's fucking
the t-shirt product is lacking.
There's some cool shirts, but what I'm seeing from you guys and what they have, because their masks are elaborate. Mm-hmm. I can already see like the dopeness that can come out. Guys like Penta, just to name one.
Bandito.
I mean, just all of them. All the guys.
Jack Cartwheel. What about Jack Cartwheel?
Oh,
dude,
Jack Cartwheel is a shit.
Let me
that
tell
guy's
you,
gonna go fucking.
That guy
fast.
I
awesome.
had never heard of Jack Cartwheel. I didn't see him in PWG. I didn't see, and then we went to TJ to watch Crash, and he was in the main event in a tag team match, and I was like,
with Penta.
With Penta, yeah,
and
like,
your guy.
So it's like Jack Cartwheel, and I was like, who the fuck is this bald-headed white dude named Jack Cartwheel?
Right?
Like, this is bullshit. And then after about 10 minutes, it's like, oh shit, who
Cartwheel
the fuck
shit.
is this guy?
But see, I think he was just, I don't want to say lucky, but he was just like, coming together. Because you had Penta, you had...
they put him in there on purpose with those dudes.
No,
They're
but
not
what I'm trying to
fucking
say,
around.
though, is that because he was this, like, did something that didn't fit.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, he just, was good, and he had the crowd going. I mean, he got it, like, everyone.
And we saw him at Lucha
standing
Vavoom.
ovation.
We saw him at Lucha Vavoom like a week later.
Yeah.
And
That's
he
right.
kills it. He does the balcony spot. He does a backflip
my
off the
God.
balcony. And it's like, who the fuck is Jack Cartwheel? And I was like, why is this dude my new favorite fucking wrestler?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
So I love it. It's not rare for me to find a new wrestler. It is rare for me to find a new wrestler that's already like a fully formed badass. I usually see him like year one. It's
But
like,
he had to change the name, though.
He's eventually gonna change.
He's gonna have
There's
to.
no way he's going to WWE as Jack Cartwheel. Like,
Yeah, because we're watching him in La Mesa. We're doing Canna Pro. We're vending there, and they're like Jack Cartwheel. And in the back of my head, I'm like, I am judging this name right now. And then he freaking worked, and I'm just like, fuck yeah,
Jack Cartwheel.
And he's like yelling
Already
at
wearing
people.
his shirt, you know.
Yeah, right.
Cartwheel shit.
Cartwheel shit, man. That dude's
Yeah.
awesome.
Like I get, what was it? I don't know if it was like it's a reoccurring thing at every show, but like this guy went up to him and was like, "Do you want to do a cartwheel?" And he's like, "Yeah, I want to do a cartwheel. Do you want to do a cartwheel?" They're fucking going back and forth. I'm like, I fucking love this.
Yeah.
You know, it was great.
And the second part of the question was, is there anyone that you want to do a shirt for that you haven't yet? Who's that one?
I mean, for me personally, Kenny Omega. I fucking love him. Oh my god, I would love to do some nerdy shit with him. I mean, it
Is
doesn't
there
have to be
a
like,
design already you have in mind?
I mean, obviously, I couldn't do Street Fighter because he's been there, done that. But I'd love to do some weeb shit with him. Like, I would love to do some like
Some deep cuts.
yeah, big time.
Because he's got some good matches, but he also has some fucking comedy gold.
Oh,
How about like some
absolutely.
Japan X shit?
Yeah, that
Like
That
a
would be so
like a
sick.
DDT style shirt from Kenny Omega, like the
Yeah.
like the-
Man.
when it was wild. This for Kenny Omega
Ugh.
when he was in Japan, when he was like younger in Japan. He wrestled a little girl. He wrestled a 9-year-old girl,
Oh, yeah.
and it works. I mean, as much as it could work for you, but they would do matches.
Wasn't there an
In a
older
river?
Asian guy that did that before too? He wrestled a little girl or something like that. Yeah,
Probably.
yeah. I
Kenny
remember
Omega's
something.
And it's like a
bunch of wild
testament
shit.
to his craft, you know, because if you can make yourself and this little kid go over and not hurt them, you know,
them or, you know,
And
it's
make
like
it look like
them and
feasible.
Exactly.
Believable is not a good word
No,
for that
feasible.
match.
Yeah.
But there was nothing in there that was like, come on. Like, it was like, that could happen maybe. Like,
She could poke his eyes out.
yeah, you know, like she was doing, her offense was 9-year-old girl shit. Like the shit that a 9-year-old girl could do. And it was like,
Yeah.
oh, she's fucking him up.
9-year-old shit.
9-year-old shit.
But they like wrestled in the river and stuff. Like there was DDT, which is a wrestling company in Japan. Like they did
They did some wild shit.
where I was like, come
Yeah.
on, man.
Wild
Cody
shit.
Bushi doing fucking pile drivers and toilets and stuff. Like, come on, man. Like, get out of here.
I don't like the AEW's new champion.
Hangman?
Hey,
Oh,
He doesn't like Hangman.
hell no, bro.
I love Hangman.
what's the whole the build up to, like, you know, the beginning of it, and
Yeah,
like,
it's like
The story was him getting the belt.
yeah.
being the
And now
elite
they're
for like
struggling.
years.
But he
and-
has no. He's not charismatic. He doesn't have. You know what I mean? Like he. It's so forced when he's out there. He's not really talking. I feel like he's rehearsing lines.
He's learning on the job. Like,
But
that's
he's
what's going
rehearsing
on.
lines as opposed to, like, you know, everyone else that's around him is already like.
That's
Catch the
'cause
fuck
Spitting
up.
fire.
Yeah.
From the beginning of AEW, you know, if you go back to the Jericho podcast, they're talking to Cody and the Young Bucks and everything, and they're like, "Who?" Like Jericho's like, "What's the end game? Not the end game, but what is one of your goals?" And they're like, "Hangman," because he's new, he's great, blah blah blah. And then, like, you know, in the early AEW days before the pandemic, you know, he would go out in the audience and drink the beer and everything, and everyone was like, "Fuck yeah, this guy's." It's like the Stone Cold effect. It's like,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
guy drinks beer just
Oh,
like me.
hey, calm down on that comparison to Stone Cold, bro. Come on.
Well, here's the thing,
No,
though.
wait, Hangman is whack.
He was getting over extremely, and he was on point, and
I don't even. The wrestling's cool, and his finishing moves whack.
Get out
Finishing
of
moves
here,
whack.
Man, Buckshot Larry.
Come on, just springing yourself from the outside.
Yeah.
Come on, whack.
You gotta say it like Excalibur.
Buckshot. Yeah. First of all, his finishing move is whack, and he's not charismatic. Who's the guy? J. Cole. He always fights, right? So
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole. I'm newer to this new wrestling.
Okay.
I'm the old school side. These guys got me into all this shit. But J. Cole,
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole,
Baby.
way better.
Baby. Yeah.
Way better.
He's very
Look, if
charismatic.
Adam Cole
He's got
was
the
6'2", he would be the most famous wrestler
Oh,
on earth. You know what I
definitely.
mean?
Oh, my
But even
God.
at his height, I mean, when I watch those guys, so I go, how the hell are you losing to this punk? You know what? Honestly, he has no charisma. He has a shitty finishing move. He just, and then he like fights guys, and after he beats them, he's like, well, I'll give you a chance later on in your career. But shut the fuck up, bro.
I think it all kind of comes back to like the whole being the elite thing, because I see what you're saying, you know what I mean? Like where he doesn't have that, like, he doesn't stand out as much as like the other guys. I feel like in being the elite, he really did stand out because he showed a lot of his charisma there, but it was like on YouTube. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Sure.
Okay,
to
but
do
what I'm
anything.
trying to get, why is it lacking here?
Yeah. No, you're right.
That
you're
he needs
right.
a shirt from you guys to just
Hey.
bump him up.
Oh shit!
You know what I'm saying?
cowboy
man.
shit.
Let's do some cowboy shit. I'm down.
And he's more of a farmer than a cowboy. Shit.
Or he's from Virginia.
Virginia. Yeah.
Yeah, again, a farmer. You know what I'm saying? That's farmer
But yeah.
country. That ain't cowboy country.
Well, like going back to the two questions, like, you know, when it comes to working with and everything, like we want to do the shirts that we know can sell. Like
Yeah.
we legitimately try to put it in with a fucking business standpoint. It's like, I have $20 and you know what? I have FOMO. Do I want to buy this
Sure.
shirt? You know, and we come up with ideas all the time, and sometimes we're just like, nah, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like a little bit too much of just the shit we're into. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like,
We don't want
I
it to
don't
be
But
know.
an
you want
inside
to
joke.
sometimes when you're into the shit you're into, sometimes you might hold back, but
and then
those
it's
are
that's the
hitters,
thing
you know
that's
what I
like the
mean?
gold. Yeah.
Or
It
somebody
is.
tried to ask us to do the Grand Naniwa, which is a wrestler and his mask, a Japanese wrestler, and his mask is a crab, you know. And then there's the Grand Delphine, you know, and nobody, I mean, not nobody knows it, but a lot of people don't know who they are, and it's just not.
At least here, yeah.
Yeah, you know, Liger at the time when we started, you know, doing stuff, you know, was still, you know, wrestling, and he's still a big name. He's a commentator right now, and his stuff is more accessible because the search engine for New Japan World is very hard to navigate. So you can go so far, like it takes like a good 15 minutes just to go back to Dominion 2017, which was the first New Japan pay-per-view that we got into, and I'm like, babe, you gotta watch this shit.
I
And-
got rid of New Japan World because it's fucking impossible.
But
Yeah,
here's the thing, you're my gateway to that.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I think. I mean, you have to understand. For me, coming from WWF,
Yeah.
and now with these guys have introduced me to all these guys. You know, Kenny.
This
Omega,
guy's never
like,
even seen Okada versus Kenny Omega.
Oh, my
None of
all
the
your
matches.
shirts, all your
None of
shirts
them.
that
He's
you
never even
have,
seen any of them.
all the shirts you have, the only ones I know is Rowdy Roddy Piper and Hitman. You know what I'm saying? So you're my gateway to this newer stuff. Me older but newer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I look. So I'm looking to you to expose me
Introduce, right.
to these Japanese guys and that, and I think when you have a great design and you have
Sure.
a dope ass shirt, like at first I'm like, oh, that's a sick shirt, and then I get it, and then it's like, oh, this is what it is.
I want to know about this.
Yeah,
person.
now I want to know more about it. You know what I'm saying? That's why, once again,
And that's
you
what we
know,
like to do. We wanted to have conversation pieces.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That
So-
you guys
Yes.
have done in fucking spades. Like, god damn.
Yeah,
and
'cause-
that's our goal, honestly. Like, we want to have a wrestling fan go out, wear the shirt, maybe meet somebody that's maybe casual, maybe doesn't even watch wrestling at all. What does your shirt mean?
Or they know the band. Like, why
Yeah,
is that?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and for us, if they can kind of like get that conversation started, then we've done what we've set out to do.
Like
You know what I
inside moments. I don't like the term mark, but inside mark, but like mark moments.
Yeah.
Where I went to go see Big J Okerson. My buddy, my roommate Mikey opened up for this comedian Big J in Ontario. So we're at the Ontario Improv, and it's before the show. And there's there's the sound guy, and he's playing songs. And it was the WrestleMania day. It was the Saturday of WrestleMania. So he's playing songs, and then Cody Rhodes' theme song comes on.
Oh.
And I was like, this motherfucker. So I stood up and made eye contact with him, and I was like, and he was like, yeah. And I was like, there's no way any mark that's playing Cody on the day he goes back to WWE, he wants someone to acknowledge him, And I was
Exactly.
like, I
like
know
that
what
one
you're
time.
doing,
Was it you, man, where I was DJing at Spike's? And I think you were DJing at Spike's too. And I had a Young Bucks shirt on.
Probably.
And you were just like, dude, I didn't even know you watch wrestling. And I'm just like, the fucking Young Bucks, dude.
And that was a crazy thing where perfect example of not casual fan.
Right.
All of a sudden I started seeing these Young Bucks dudes all over fucking Hot Topic and promo, like, what the fuck? Like,
Who are the Young Bucks?
yeah, like, what the fuck is this? And then got exposed to being the Elite. I'm like,
Right.
holy shit.
Yeah.
This is fucking wrestling.
And I've
Okay,
done a
right.
complete 180 on the Bucks. When I first became aware of the Young Bucks, these are spot monkeys. You know what I mean? These are spot monkeys running around just doing bullshit to do it, and like fuck these dudes, and like every old guy, and like just like every other old guy, I was like, these dudes fucking suck. Like there's no psychology, there's magic, blah blah blah, well, finisher, all this, and then you really dig into the Bucks and like see their matches and stuff. It's like, fuck, these guys are doing it. Like it's just they're doing it a little faster. But this is wrestling.
They're
like, this
revolutionizing.
They're changing it.
They are changing it. That's what they set out to do.
Business.
They're killing the fucking business.
They really are.
The only thing I was disappointed about in their book is I got the audio book,
right.
and they don't read it. It's
No.
like some goof.
Yeah.
It's like some idiot reading it.
I did hear it, but
he doesn't know how to
I've heard.
pronounce anybody's names, like and all this. I was like, this fucking sucks. But the book was super good. The book is
book's
excellent.
great. He got me that book for Christmas because I'm like, dude, I love the Young Bucks. I love what they've done. They're California boys. They fucking came
Rancho?
from right. And like, it's not like they came from like this like prestigious background of like legacy.
They're backyard
wrestling.
wrestlers.
They're
fucking
backyard wrestlers. They love
man.
their shit. They went for it. They excelled at what they do. And they got a lot of haters, and I see why.
Of course.
But I feel like if they have those haters, they're doing a great job of what they're doing because that's what they set out to do.
And they're not for everybody. Like, fuck
They're
you.
not for
Sorry,
everybody.
it's not. Like wrapping my head around that
Right.
was one of the hardest things that I had to do as a wrestling fan. Where it's like, all right, fuck you. It's not for you.
Yeah,
and
and
it was
they're-
like, oh,
Their core
it's
team
supposed
of
to be
people,
for me.
I feel like their core team of people, he works with his wife, Matt Jackson.
Their dad makes the music.
Their dad
like,
makes
I'm
the music.
like,
And it's like, it seems so simple and small, but it's like, that's brilliant because you have like people that have common interests, common experiences, all contributing to this brand. And they're putting it into that Matt and Nick Jackson brand.
And it's the most punk rock thing that's ever happened in
it
wrestling.
really
Yeah.
is.
The fact that they've never even sniffed fucking WWE. And eventually it was like, fuck that. That's not what we want. That's not what we're going after.
And apparently
Like,
they've been like, I'll read articles and stuff that they've been cornered at airports. Like,
Yeah.
hey, we're with WWE, and they're like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
get the fuck out of here.
because
man.
they, the whole AEW thing is just like right there, and they're like, we're gonna be fucking stupid if we say no to this.
Right.
You
Like
know?
these assholes.
The money hasn't been high enough. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, there wasn't a billionaire mark like Tony Khan that was like, hey, let's start a fucking wrestling company.
Yeah.
And, I know a lot of
Yeah,
people
like-
talk shit about Tony Khan, but like for me, I'm like, thank goodness
This is
for this man.
He's
because
been sent from heaven.
Yeah,
like,
right?
get the fuck out of here.
I mean,
a rich kid that just loves, not a rich kid, a wealthy, like a
Very wealthy, yeah.
a billionaire with a B's son.
And he has a job too. It's not like he doesn't like
You know what I mean?
doesn't do shit. Like,
That showed up the way he got the Young Bucks to sign, or the way what he was interested is he showed up and showed them a picture of him sitting in the front row of a show before that with a Young Bucks t-shirt on. He was like, I'm not like some dick. Like fool, I'm about this. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh.
I think it was a
same
New
thing-
Japan show too. I think that
Yeah,
was.
like
Oh, that's
in the
amazing.
Long Beach.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, it was here.
Yeah, at the Pyramid.
Oh, okay, yeah, we went to that
Yeah,
one.
we
The
went to
Strong
that one.
Style Evolved.
Tony Khan was there
Yeah.
too.
but that's the thing about Hot Topic too, is that the guy who's like the senior buyer for Hot Topic, he's a wrestling
He's
fan.
a big time wrestling fan, which
Yeah,
is
and-
kind of cool.
And he was at WrestleMania 34 in Florida, and all these people are walking around with Bullet Club shirts, like, "Oh, is this a part of WWE?" Like,
no.
like no, like,
Not
and
even
he-
close.
And he fucking like looked into this shit, and he's just like, "Oh shit, they're part of New Japan. I haven't watched that for how many years? Because, like just accessibility
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's just like, this is like, there's more Bullet Club shirts here than WWE shirts. This needs to be in Hot Topic.
It was the coolest thing on earth.
Yeah.
For
Oh,
a couple
definitely.
years, Bullet Club was.
Yeah. And apparently can only either get them from Japan, the shirts, either from Japan, or was it Tama's friend who ran a Little League
Oh,
website?
Tamatonga, yeah.
Tamatonga.
Yeah.
His friend ran a Little League website where they had a store on there, and they crashed it. They're like, oh, if you want Bullet Club shirts in the U.S., this is where you get them. And it fucking crashed it.
God,
So-
I wish Grudge Match. Hey,
Right?
if y'all want to crash our site,
Get it.
please feel free.
GrudgeMatchBrand.com.
Yeah.
And it's Grudge Match Brand, not Grunge Match.
Oh,
which
yeah,
some people
grudge,
have
sure.
said.
Spell it.
I can't spell.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Hold on.
DGE.
Yeah.
GRUDGEMATCH.
ATCH.
Brand.
Close enough. That's all right, Remy. It's all right.
Brand.
Keep looking. If you didn't find it, keep looking, man.
But fucking amazing that you get to work with such amazing talent that's been on TV. Obviously, WWE with Connor. Obviously, there's a Heath Slater thing going on here. How did you connect with Heath?
Oh, through Connor.
Through Connor?
Yeah,
Nice.
Connor was so good to us. Like, honestly, he could have just been like, all these fucking marks, you know?
Sure.
And he just was like, I like what you guys are doing. I like that you like approached me in this way. It was Remy that really, talked to him. And he was just like, on the verge. That's when he first left WWE, right?
Well, we were talking to him before he got let go. Because
Yeah,
he got
that's
let
right,
go during
actually.
the pandemic.
Yeah. So Remy got in contact with him before he left WWE. And he was just so cool. He was a really nice guy. He was like, let me help you out as much as I can. I'll talk to some wrestlers for you. And he really did. Like, we're just like, okay, that'd be cool. But I don't, like, me personally, I'm the type of person that doesn't want to, like, ask for that help.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like I'm burdening them. But, I mean, Remy doesn't have a problem with that. But still, like, he was so cool about it. He wasn't like, oh, well, it's going to be, like, difficult. And he's just like, no, let me talk to these guys. Let me see if they want shirts. I want to see your shirts all over the backstage. And he was just so chill about it. And then even after he left WWE, obviously he still had those contacts. And so he got us in touch with Heath Miller. And Heath was just...
Heath Miller and Redbeard.
And they were cool as shit. Like...
Yeah.
They're really nice guys, and they want to be successful. They've been successful, and they just want to continue that. And for them to take a chance on a like literal teeny tiny company like us, where we're like folding shirts on our dining room table, and
Or,
our
like,
friends are
like,
making the
spray
shirts in
bottles
their
to keep
living
the cat
room.
off.
Yeah,
and the Young Bucks were doing that same shit 5 years ago, folding up T-shirts on their table. Like they ran their own merch, fucking for like. This is on the upswing.
And there's competition out there,
bones.
like there's plenty. There's pro wrestling tees, which are great because they give you that access to wrestlers that you normally would not be able to get.
Sure, that you can't buy
merch from.
That has been the coolest part. It's been going to shows, and if they don't have it in my size, it's not that big of a deal.
You can
go they don't have it. It's like I know where I can go get it now and support this dude.
And like for us, it's like. We don't see them. I mean, obviously we see them as competition, but like in the big scheme of things, but we kind of see them kind of like, these are our peers. This is what they're doing right. Like, why not follow a specific model, but do it our way?
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel
and you're
like
doing it different too, though.
we are doing it different, and I feel like a lot of times when you're a smaller company and you're like up against the big guys, quote unquote, you want to always kind of like, one up them. And for us, it's like we want to work kind of like where what they're not offering, let's offer that.
Sure.
You know, I don't want to be like, oh, fuck them. I hope they did. No, the way we work is we want everyone to fucking succeed. We want all of us to make money. We want all of us to prosper. If you can make money off our site and also have a pro wrestling tees account and cash in on that, honey, do it.
Plus, just how not too long ago, pro wrestling tees was the little guy.
Yeah, they were the little guy.
I mean?
And look at how they blew up. That's brilliant. They have a brilliant business plan.
And this tide is gonna raise all the ships, including GrudgeMatchBrand. You know what I mean? Like it's on like.
And really, it's inspirational.
Right?
So
it's
really cool.
It's not. You don't have to have a famine mentality. You know what I mean? This is getting bigger and better for everybody.
You don't need to have an animosity. We can all eat at the table.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can eat on Tuesday nights at the West Coast Poplock Podcast. This tide has risen. We are the #1 live podcast every
On
Tuesday night.
That's us.
Every Tuesday night and every Wednesday.
I'm sorry. I'm fucking looking at T-shirts right now.
Sorry, more T-shirts.
But you can find us every Wednesday at 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. on the Local Music Experience. It's a free app. You download it. There's all kinds of fun stuff. And also us on Wednesdays. So, it's good.
Yeah.
And Mario's on there on Fridays. I just saw that.
I am on Fridays. I have picks Thursdays. I'm chiming in on
This
the not so
fucking
murder.
Mario is the hardest working man in show business. Let me tell you.
Not only that, we got some cool things with Lucha that I've been a part of, and there's some new things coming. So apparently it's getting around town. I'm the go-to guy for fucking video.
Hell yeah.
Video. So
Nice.
XPW's heard of me apparently. There's some words being spread around. So I'll be at the next
it's all
Lucha
good.
Vavoom.
All
good. All good.
And where can we find you guys? Give out your socials, give out whatever you need to do so we can pick up some of these dope-ass shirts that I will be picking up tonight.
Rad.
And let us know.
So we're at GrudgeMatchBrand.com is our website. We also have our Instagram, which is at GrudgeMatchBrand. We also have our Twitter, which is GrudgeMatchBRND, because we couldn't fit in the A. And we're on Facebook as well, but we don't really use it as much.
And you guys merch at events or?
We're going to be at the Metal Merchants Market.
Yeah, Metal Merchants Market, June 11th, I believe. Just look up Born for Burning Promotions. They do it. I know they're doing something in Texas right now.
Yeah.
But we're aiming to do that.
LAX Fan Fest.
LAX Fan Fest,
Yeah.
which is blowing up right now. The Hardys.
When's that?
That's June 4th at the.
That's around the time when AEW is going to be out there.
AEW is on Wednesday, June 1st. First time in
We're
LA.
going
We got
there.
our tickets.
Oh, yeah, we're going
And
there.
then
We got our
the
tickets.
Saturday, June 4th, it's already confirmed as Adam Cole, the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Um,
I literally screamed when I saw the Hardy Boys. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to lose my shit.
Tony Storm, Britt Baker, like they're adding people every day. Jungle Boy, for sure.
I hate Jungle Boy.
And then
You leave fucking Jungle Jack Perry alone.
When they beat the
What else
Lucha
are we
Bros, man, I was like, no.
Prestige.
Yeah. Oh, and check out Prestige Wrestling too. They're going to be at the Glass House in
I'm
June.
gonna look at that right now.
So yeah.
And you guys will be there as well, merching and stuff like that. or-
I mean, I helped with merch at the last one, so hopefully this one as well. But yeah, that's like literally a block, like not even a mile from our house. So
Did I
Yeah.
see? Is that
We'll
your
be there.
Glass House.
Was that your cut that I saw? Whose cut was that with the Mick Foley on the back?
Oh, that's Remy's. Yeah. And fun fact, Mick Foley is friends with Santa Claus.
Yeah,
Quote unquote. And we got in contact with him, and he got Santa to write our nephews a letter,
Hell yeah.
send him some signed merch, which is
dope.
amazing.
Oh, Mick.
I know we're running over on time, but just to name a few people that you guys have like some contact with here. I mean,
Oh, Chris Bay?
There's Chris Bay from Impact.
Chris Bay is so freaking talented. Like this guy, like Heath Miller, obviously, you know, Warhorse,
Evo
Rob
Uno.
Van
Rob
Dam.
Van
RVD.
Dam.
RVD,
Oh man,
another
RVD
local
was
boy.
so cool too.
He's the chillest, and all these people are like, "Oh man, ECW, blah blah blah." John Cena, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I want to talk about the movie Super Fights.
And he was like Remy like unlocked a memory or something because he was
Hilarious.
just like, oh, by the way, you know.
Yeah.
When you find like it's wrestlers, is not especially, but also when you want to talk to them about something that isn't what everybody else fucking asks them about, it's like,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, I would love to talk
Oh,
to you about
definitely.
that.
Especially
Like, you know?
somebody like RVD who like is constantly in contact with, you know, their fans, and it's always, I mean, and not that he doesn't like talking about that, but it's always kind of like the same thing. And now he's got his CBD brand out, he's got his THC thing going, he's got his the documentaries they've made on him.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more content there, and a lot more that maybe you didn't know about RVD. So when you kind of throw something else out there, he's just like, hold on, let's talk about that, you know?
I saw him in Best Buy. Like this is like more than 10 years. This is more than 10 years ago now. But I saw him in Best Buy, and the dude, no one was bugging him, but the guy in Best Buy was like, "Can I get a picture?" Because obviously I'm standing super close. So I'm like following around the
Hovering.
store like a lunatic, you know. And the guy in Best Buy was like, "Can I get a picture?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he went to take the picture. And Rob was like, "Hold on a second." And then he did, and then he was like, now you can take the picture.
RVD.
Like, don't do it when I'm not
Yeah.
doing my shit. Don't take no
Yeah.
picture.
And you know what? He doesn't care about time constraints or anything. He's going to make sure that the fan gets that
Yeah, he did.
RVD
Because I tried to take the
experience.
picture, and he was like, "No, you
No.
want the picture. Like,
Yeah.
this is the picture."
Oh, he
Yeah.
is he's on his stuff.
It's not
you
his
know?
first time. You
No,
know?
no. He's a pro.
And by the way, the shirt with Chris Bay popped up on one of the Impact TV tapings or one of their pay-per-views, right?
Yeah.
How fucking cool is that?
Oh
One of
my
your
God.
designs.
That's great because that's all Tawney right there.
So, I mean, it was a Paramore parody because he loves Paramore. So I'm like, you know what, I don't want to exact copy it. So let me just write it out in my own, you know, writing. And I was just like, that's cool. My writing is going to be on a t-shirt. You know, I do art too, but I'm not as, I mean, you're going to be your worst critic,
Sure.
obviously. But I was just like, all right, I'm going to do Chris Bay. I'm going to get his little catchphrases in there, whatever. And he was like, oh, I want to use it on my gear. Just like, well, yeah, dude. Of course you can.
They also look like a little bit like No Doubt, one of their albums.
Oh, yeah,
Sure.
like the Rocksteady album.
Yeah.
Your guys' logo, just the Grudge Match brand too, is fucking super cool.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
The Anarchy Circle, that thing is sweet.
That's actually one of my other pieces.
Yeah, that's her.
So
you did.
I've only done a few. Like I did the
We have
War
to get
Horse.
rid of you, Remy. We got it.
That's why I
did
wanted to
the-
go home early. We're not gonna talk to him. We talked to Tawney this whole time.
That Rob Bad Damn Metallica shirt is cool too. God damn, you guys are doing it, man.
Yeah, I feel
Fuck,
like
look at
the more time goes by and the more like inspiration we get, and I mean we can't take full 100% credit. Like we do get ideas, but sometimes just collaborating with the wrestlers, it gets the ball rolling, you know. And it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, PP Ray and like that's a whole Wham parody. If you look
Sure.
up Wham tour T-shirt from like 1985, it's literally that.
Wham's gonna come after you now. Watch.
I know, right? But
George Michael's gonna try to suck your dick in the park. You better watch out.
I wish he would. No. But that's another Juan Ortiz piece, and it's so different from what he normally does. He works with a lot of red and black, and
He's
you know,
a
a lot
skull
of
guy.
darker
He's
colors.
amazing with skulls, and
But
you know,
I mean,
when he did
it
this,
shows
it
his
was great.
versatility. You know.
Yeah, no, he has range.
My only one thing I probably would have said, you should have added some thongs sticking out. I think that's the only thing that would have
sure.
been
You're
been
right.
perfect. Just some
Honestly,
thongas.
There should have been some dollar bills sticking out of those trunks.
Yeah,
Definitely.
go, PP Ray.
Like the dollar bill that was sticking out of you when who came up to get it?
So David Arquette and RJ City went against PP Ray at Bar Wrestling.
Such a good show.
Oh, it was a great show.
Fuck.
And so, you know, people are throwing their dollar bills on, you know, at the ring. And I'm like, give me who's got a dollar? You know, and I'm looking around. So I grab a dollar, and I've had a huge crush on David Arquette since like forever, since Road Racers maybe, like 92 or something. But I stuck a dollar bill in between my cleavage. I ran up the steps, got to this, you know, the third rope, and he comes over, and I'm like, come get it. And he pulled it out with his teeth, and I was just like, I'm
There you
done.
go.
We're
There you
good.
go.
We're
Thanks,
good.
David Arquette.
Thank you so much, David Arquette.
Thank you, David Arquette.
Remy, did you at least take the photo?
Oh, we didn't. No,
No,
we
no,
were
no.
just-
Actually, my friend did. My friend did,
Nice.
thankfully.
There it is.
Hell yeah.
At least you got one.
You don't always need a photo. Just the memory itself is
Oh, yeah.
enough.
I
That
know.
place, that lives rent-free in my head.
Yeah.
So.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That sometimes you just don't need a photo, man. You know what I'm saying? But you do need every Tuesday night the West Coast Pop Block Podcast live at 8. And yeah, everyone's Van Damming it out here.
Yeah.
Everyone's Van Damming in here.
It's fun to do.
We want to check you guys out. You can check this podcast out, you know, and every other podcast we've done on WestCoastPoplockPodcast.com.
Ooh, and then some special announcements coming, I think, maybe by next week.
No, next week we should
Next
have a
week?
really good, big special announcement. But we also have one of the guys from LA Taco as well in. So that'll be a good show
Hell
next
yeah.
Tuesday. But this was a great show. We
Number 77.
talked about wrestling.
Not a wrestling
Not
podcast.
a wrestling podcast. But make sure to get yourself some bomb-ass merch, man. Everyone knows merch. There's
Yeah.
Who doesn't like a good T-shirt?
bomb- yeah, and there's going to be a couple on there. I'm going to have to just hound you guys to reprint because they're sick. They're sick. They are definitely
We're
big.
down.
I can see you wearing that PP Ray one for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
hot.
that's a sick
It's
one
real
right
hot.
there. PP Ray, the Hitman Heart one is awesome. I'm not really big on the, like, you know, collared and sleeve colors.
Sure, like the
but
Roddy Piper
but the
one.
Roddy Piper one would be amazing as well. And don't worry, I'll paint his
His knee pads.
His knee pads blue.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that because that's like the only thing that bothered me. I'm like, damn, if we didn't have these money restrictions.
Yeah. But no, but all your
Stupid
shirts
money,
are awesome.
stupid
and,
money.
I look forward to purchasing quite a few shirts off of you guys.
Thank you.
Get it.
Grudge Match brand.
GrudgeMatchBrand.com.
Give them a follow. Give us a follow. Give us a listen. It's the West Coast.
Woo!
That button.
The number one live show in the world, West Coast Poplock Podcast. Coming to you from Big Studios in Compton, California. Featuring radio personality Super Steve Flores. Comedian extraordinaire, that dude Johnny C. And Mr. I'll Do Anything for a Buck, Mario 81. So throw your dubs in the air and let's get ready to pop lock.